End of January market update. I'm here with my broker, Matt Day, at the downtown location. Thank you, Matt.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
So I feel like it's important, if you're new to the channel, that you stay informed of the local updates on the market. And this time I want his perspective, not just my perspective. I think it's important because you talk to agents all day long.
Sure, I do. Yep.
Yeah.
Transactions, details, all the good stuff.
Yeah, so we're going to dive in and get Matt Day's perspective on what's going on in the market, go over some of these stats with you that we have from the board, and more of a boots on the ground perspective in today's video, so stay tuned. All right, Matt Day, where would you like to start? What would you say is the most important thing or noticeable change in the market that you're seeing from the broker side?
Yeah, from the broker side, it's just an inventory. Our market here has plenty of inventory. It's actually a great time to buy down here. The numbers are favoring buyers, certainly still favor sellers in terms of being able to sell a product to the buyers in the marketplace. It's inventory. Our market has plenty of it, both new and resale. And so the buyers have a lot of options, and it favors them and again, it gives our sellers the opportunity to present their home to plenty of buyers. So the buyer pool is strong and healthy here in our market.
So that being said, now the sellers are having to adjust, right?
Sure.
And we're having conversations daily with, sometimes we list a property and they sell quickly. And then some sit, some get showings right away, some don't.
Right.
And I try to explain to them it's kind of across the board that things are a little slower right now. I don't know if it's because it's post-election as we film here, or what you're seeing and hearing from the agents here in our office.
Sure. Actually, so market activity has picked up substantially over the course of the last few weeks. The inauguration has taken place, so we're seeing a real big pickup in activity even from the weekend. And so the business is there. Again, the market is actually really robust. We're seeing some adjustments in some of the resale prices. But again, if you've been an owner of your home here in Sarasota County or Manatee County, you've owned it for 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20 years, you're winning out. As a seller, you're doing very favorably well because our market is still so desirable. And you have so many options, and so much of the lifestyle is incredible here, right? And it's just a blue sky, perfect day. And this is exactly why people are living here, moving here.
If you could see what we're looking at, it's definitely sunny. We had a couple rainy days, but on average, it's like 254 sunny days out of the year.
Right.
So
and it is that perfect temperature right now, low 70s, low humidity, nice breeze. It's a perfect day. So
it's great.
This is when all the buyers are coming into the marketplace, and they're buying up the new construction, they're buying up resale. So again, a great time to be buying in our market right now.
So one of the things, speaking to what you just said, was if a seller says, hey, I don't want to move because I've got a low interest rate, I'm putting you on the spot now. What do you say to that?
Your interest rate is for the long term can be favorable, but I always say you only live one life, right? So why are you going to be bound to an interest rate when you're delaying the lifestyle that you've always wanted? And sure, that 3%, if you're going to be in that same home for the next 40 years, sure, that's fine. And maybe that's the reward. But if you're looking to make a change in lifestyle, come down to Florida, you may pay a little bit higher on the rate, but there's so many buy down programs with your lenders right now where the lender is willing to pay down on that interest rate over the first year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year period. So the reward is again in the lifestyle, and the numbers are not extreme enough to justify delaying the lifestyle change. In the retirement, the pre-retirement, enjoying this lifestyle is what people want to do now, and to wait and to guess, right? Are we guessing it's going to be another 6 months, another 2 years, another 10 years? Of course, the sooner the better, and more of our buyers want to be able to live that dream now rather than wait.
This is true. And real estate's such an amazing investment. It's not just for like the interest rate, but it's about creating memories and like you said, lifestyle. And there are definitely ways around it, whether it's new construction. I know we've been talking a lot about new construction in our meetings, and there's some incredible incentives there. So if people are having a little rough time figuring out where to move, like I'm going to sell, where am I going to move to? If it's not out of state or something, then we've got some great new construction options right now too, whether it's downtown or there's a ton in Lakewood Ranch. Actually, at our meeting, we had talked about some really impressive numbers of what's being built.
Yeah.
Just east. How many houses?
Yeah, in Lakewood Ranch Southeast, a new kind of area north of Fruitvale Road, Verna and Lorraine is going to be 5,000 more dwelling units. So plenty of options, right?
I'd say so.
Right.
Yeah.
So again, if our seller is on the fence, they have to know that it's not just going to be today, it's going to be tomorrow, it's going to be going into next year, the following years in terms of the inventory. There's going to be lots of options for our buyers. And so it's a natural process of just a readjustment of pricing. It's nothing extreme. It's favorable both for our sellers and buyers. And selling right now is just as good a time as any. Your money can go into other things that may appreciate faster or more quickly. So selling and buying is a great time here in Sarasota.
But
and Manatee.
Let me just give you a big but, because that's all nice and fun and positive, Matt. But we do have more inventory. So look, at the end of December, we had 5.5 months of single family homes in Sarasota County. That is an equilibrium market. And this is what, when I'm talking to sellers, pricing your property, you don't most sellers will say, well, we can always lower the price. And yes, that's true, but you don't want to be so far off that you're just chasing the market, because you're going to be the last to sell in the neighborhood. And I've had so many conversations with sellers. Sometimes we have to rip the Band-Aid off. We have to start a little high and then just rip it off sooner than anybody else, because then we're under contract, we're sold, and then everybody else is still sitting. Are you seeing that in the office too? I mean, the price adjustments?
Yes, price adjustments is, again, a natural thing that happens. Again, with increased inventory, lots of competition. Sellers have a perception that their home is of value here. The reality is that it needs to be down here. And even over the last 30 days, there's been an adjustment. And these December numbers are really reflective of a recovery after a hurricane. So a lot of these numbers are pushed from the effects of October and November being slower. So again, December looks very favorable, and we'll piggyback off of that. But yes, your inventory levels are the highest they've been in a long time.
And I mean, you also can't compare to 2020 through 2021, because it was astronomically a once in a lifetime thing that we went through, unless something's coming down the pike that we don't know about, and that's possible. But doubling your value on a piece of real estate in 2 years is not sustainable. So, I mean, if you bought in 2020, you're doing real well, right?
Sure.
I mean, you're doing really well. So I would say yes.
Anything before.
Yep. And 2019 or before is, if you're comparing to then as well, you're doing more normal and well, right? So that would be the takeaway. Is there any other pieces of advice, I think, for sellers now that we have more inventory, or buyers, that you would say that you're feeling like you need to put out there?
Yeah, I mean, obviously an agent like Shayla and the marketing that comes with the services that Shayla provides, also with Coldwell Banker, is going to do you well in a market like this. You need the expertise of a Shayla to be able to list and sell properties in this market, and to work with, from a buyer perspective. Experience, knowledge in the marketplace is invaluable for our buyers and sellers today. So you need that.
And I've been hearing and getting calls now on being the second or the third agent. We like that. I'm happy to be that. I mean, because, the consummate theme that I keep hearing is, well, they just put in the MLS. We didn't know what's going on. We didn't hear from our agent. And I take a lot of pride, and you've seen my emails, but after a week to 10 days, once we get everything out there and starts to trickle through all the websites and get some actual data to look at, you're going to get an email that's probably too big for your email. I'll probably throw it out. So with all the links, the advertising, the marketing, you cannot just throw it in the MLS and hope and pray. It's the 3 Ps.
Yeah.
It's post it, pray, and one other one. There's 3 Ps to just selling real estate that are super easy, that don't work anymore. So you need an agent that, like he said, knows the market inside and out. And unfortunately, if it's a brand new agent, it takes time to learn a market. So I think now more than ever, to have a veteran agent that has been through cycles and knows how to pivot with pricing, because pricing and photos are probably way up there. And then all the marketing, what does your agent do differently? And then communicating.
Definitely. Communication. I always say good news, bad news, or no news. You have to be able to communicate to your customers. And it's market knowledge, but your expertise with the contracts Here in Florida, there's a few different contract choices.
Yes.
There's lots of addendum, and our expert agents can navigate that much more easily than a novice.
And we've had a lot of changes just to the paperwork alone. I mean, it just ad nauseum. So like staying on top of all that, and Matt does such a great job of keeping us, the agents, informed with classes and office meetings and things like that, that just keep us cutting edge on
Right.
top of our game. It's so important to have such an active broker as well on the team. So yeah, hire me if you'd like, or call for consultation. I work from Anna Maria, so Manatee County, Sarasota, and down to Charlotte, Minnesota Key, Englewood area. So it's a wide area, as you know, if you've been on the channel. And if you're new to the channel, thank you. If you're old to the channel, please subscribe if you haven't, and thank you. I welcome your comments and suggestions, likes, sharing. And so that's it. And thank you, Matt, for being on the channel.
Thanks, Shayla. Appreciate it. All good.